My people are expecting that. So, okay. So anyway, but I just want to say, one of the biggest things, I think one of the most important things when it comes to emotional wellness is really just understanding what your emotional needs are, what your needs are. What is emotion, right? It's energy in motion. And one of the things that I found has really changed my life and helped me understand the balance between emotional health and physical health, we talked about last week, is really working with the breath body, really oxygenating the body. Oxygenation and movement of breath helps to balance the emotional body, so breath awareness. But the deepest thing that I've found is really working with the spiritual body underneath the energy body. So really getting, oh, there you are. So really getting to a place where, hi.
That's what happened last time. That's why we didn't do it last time. That's
I know, but it recorded on YouTube the whole time anyway, and so I just don't understand how it worked the whole time anyway. Yeah. Last time, but okay. So we're just gonna see what happens here. I know it doesn't make sense, and it didn't make sense, but okay.
Keep on going.
So we'll just keep talking. But here we are on IG. So I'd love to hear if you guys are watching in the now. If you're watching in the future, put #replay so that we can connect with you. But if you're watching right now and you've had some therapy or you've done some emotional healing, just put heal. Put the word heal below. If you're watching in the future, you could put the word heal below #replay. And that's a lot. Just put heal. Because if you've done any psychological healing, you understand that healing comes from awareness. And I think most people, especially people that want to work with the natural path, understand that healing is physical, mental, and emotional. The super rich thing that we're doing together on retreat and that I love about working with you is, in addition to both doing our own work, we hold space for that multidimensional tracking, and it plays out in different ways. For example, if you have digestion issues, most intuitives and empaths, most people have digestive issues, right? Mm-hmm. We understand that could also relate to being unable to digest energy. Mm-hmm. Right? So where are you sourcing your energy? Are you being fed or nourishment in your relationships, or are you involved in toxic relationship dynamics? Now, we all have both. I mean, we have that toxic friend or client or boss or family member, and then hopefully we have the nourishing relationships as well. But we want to increase the quality of nourishment in our lives, even if we're alchemizing the change with our family. And that's something that we can each do by learning boundaries, by setting up kind of a different template for how you see yourself in your life. So on retreat, we have a chance to go deep. If you guys join us deeply, or if you work with me and you join my community in Awakened, you also have a chance to really open up and be seen and held. We definitely want everyone to come on retreat. We realize not everyone will come on retreat. But for now, what we want to share is that emotional health and physical health fit together. So when you're going through working with Dr. Lulu, when you're going through changing your diet and your lifestyle, when you're going through doing these biohacking things, maybe you're doing hot cold therapy, whatever you're doing, mark that you're clearing. And that's really one of the biggest things that shifted for me in my spiritual healing journey and for my clients was when I learned and when I started teaching that we can consciously make decisions that we are letting go of old emotional stories. It actually makes a difference on the subconscious. Mm-hmm. So, you find yourself in the hamster wheel, looping and looping and looping. Well, it actually takes a firm commitment in addition to planning lifestyle changes, in addition to planning, to communicate your boundaries. Before all that is a really firm commitment that you're going to do things differently. Right. And that's where having community facilitators makes such a huge difference. I mean, for me, I worked with healing physically for many, many, many years, and spiritually many, many years. But now as I worked with you, did my health really shift my metabolism. And I did it. I did it, but it was my investment in my time with you and in my own health and the accountability that helped me to really hit it really strong and make huge changes in my life. Right. you know?
Yeah.
So it's really important that we set ourselves up for the kind of support to make the changes that we want to make. And not just hang out with good friends that are inspiring, which is equally as important. No, but it's true. And my friends will be like, yeah, we can do it. Let's do it. You know, how many of my friends are like actually, you know, doing it with me? It's like, but if they're invested, it makes a huge difference. So I definitely recommend that people invest time and energy, whether that's working with us or, you know, going to weekly like yoga class or whatever that is that helps you feel connected and supported. It's really important for emotional healing.
Yeah. So it sounds like that question kind of at the beginning was that what's that emotional wellness component? And that sounds like it's embodied, right? Which is kind of what our theme of is today is like, you have to look at all the areas of your life and really look at, am I embracing that emotional wellness? And what does that look like? Like for me, emotional wellness has many different pieces, but I'm always striving to be the happiest that I can be. Of course, I don't have like, you know, we all have moments of up and down. But for me, what does that look like as a way for myself? And then how do I embody that image for myself? How do I embody that place of complete wellness? I mean, that's a whole piece in itself, you know, and the emotional component, I think it's really about calmness. I was thinking about it like when I was coming on today, like what do I want to embody today? Like during our call, like that piece of like vitality, which is what we're talking about, is how we increase vitality. But how do we do that from a place of emotional wellness, right? And when we have this, and say you're up and down the roller coaster of cortisol, like you're not going to be embodying emotional wellness. You're going to be embodying like anger, irritability, irrationality, depression, anxiety, right? Those aren't the things that embody that place of emotional wellness.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And what's interesting is the more joy we bring in, you know, that which is not, you know, there's two different philosophies. One is you can bring in a lot more joy and happiness and health and emotional well-being, and that which is not that is going to come up. You know, it's like detoxing, right? Mm-hmm. Like I remember when I was working with you last year for a couple of months, and at some point, like I was working out, but I was feeling so much soreness in my body. Like it was just a lot of soreness. You know, it's part of the detox process. Right. Now I'm working out. I do feel a little sore in my hips because Pilates was very intense yesterday. But usually I think I might have pulled something. But I was noticing a couple of days ago, which is funny because just a couple of days ago, I was noticing I'm not sore anymore. I'm not sore after I go to the gym. Like I did an hour of cardio, and the next day I was like, I don't feel sore. You know, so one philosophy is like when you're bringing more, it's not a philosophy, it's an experience. When you're really going deep into your cleansing and increasing vitality, that those patterns, those microbes, those, right, even hormones need to leave the body, right? So we detox from those parts of ourselves, that those physical things, those emotional things, those energetic things that are toxic. So they need to leave. And how that looks is it may look like nothing's working. But you even taught me there's some old naturopathic philosophies as if an old pattern comes up, it's leaving.
That's right. Exactly. So, that's Hahnemann's law.
I think a big part of emotional wellness is realizing that when you make a commitment to be happy, to be emotionally healthy, to acknowledge your feelings, to work through your feelings, like that which is no longer joining you, hello, welcome. That which is no longer there, it's going to come up and it needs to come out. What really surprised me was in January, right? So I did a 7-month detox with you, and also I do a lot of inner work, a lot of meditation and spiritual practice. But was that a really rich pattern came up for me that was from my parents emotionally. That was a dynamic between just my parents. We all have our story of our parents and Cultivate there. So, and it came.
Heartwood Retreat joined us. We're so excited to be here.
Yay. So it's very surprising that it came up. But one thing I want to share is that when you start doing the physical detox, you're working through the tissues in your body, but what's happening is it starts to clear out of your energy fields, right? So we're not just an inner body. We also have outer energy layers to our body. Like in yoga, they call it the sheets, the layers of the onion, right? We have those sheets. And so as we heal spiritually, those sheets start to come up. And like somebody told me today, this is a testimony, I was working with you. Somebody said to me today, you look, an old client of mine, I saw her at the TS, she said, you look younger every time I see you.
That's like, right.
Yay. It was like such good feedback, you know? Yeah. And it was like, okay, like I'm doing the emotional work, and that includes really being authentic with what's there. You intend to be happy. You choose to be happy. You run your energy on being happy. But there needs to be a clearing in that process.
Right.
So I was surprised that what had been coming up for me the last month was a lot of old emotional stuff that I hadn't dealt with that had been leaving my physiology. Because losing 20 pounds is like, there's a lot of issues stored in those tissues. So, right?
Issues in your tissues, hashtag.
Right? Right? Did you want to say something?
Oh, I said hashtag issue in your tissue.
Okay. And so emotional well-being and physical well-being, it's always been hand in hand. For myself, it's always been hand in hand. You know, as a body worker and an energy healer, right. It's always been, you know, the body, I'll be working on somebody and there will be a block or some pain. And now I'm learning so much from you, and I'm learning from these energy frequency devices. Like, oh, that's like a clump of blood. Oh, there's also like a story, and I can hear emotions in the body. I still have that gift. You know, it's something that it's a blessing that I received that I can do. So I can like put my hand somewhere, and like a part of the body be like, you know, I just wish that somebody would do the dishes already. I'm like, what? Who said that? You know, you know, like the body will hold those stories.
Right.
And so, like, and I think I shared with you this last week. My guru Swami Satchidananda used to say you can work physically to heal the emotional and the spiritual energy, or the energy bodies. The spiritual essence is like divine perfect, doesn't need to be healed, the anahata, but the layers of our energy fields, you can work from the physical to the emotional to the subtle to the collective conscious, or you can work from the collective down to the more physical. Right. You can work in to out, or you can work out to in. Both work.
Yeah, exactly.
We want to work through the different layers, and that's when it's really helpful to make sure that people are set up. I want everyone to be set up with mental health support, whether it's working with myself, whether it's working with a therapist, and also the medicine that you offer as a naturopath. It's so unique and special, not just because you're deeply trained in natural healing and well-being, but it takes the guessing out. It took the guessing out for me working with you.
Right.
I detoxed for 20 years. You know, I would do like a week of juicing, fasting. I did 3 months of Ayurveda. I mean, of like, you know, Dr. Lod herbal protocols. Like, I've done a lot of things, but having like the blood work and the intuitive support is really, really valuable. And so everyone is like, wow, how'd you do it? I'm like, work with Dr. Lulu. She's kind of full now, but come on our retreat.
That's right.
You need to know that if you're not getting the support, what's the cost of not investing in your health?
Right, exactly. You can't put a cost. There's not a cost or a price tag that you can put on your health, right? It's like price. Right. It's priceless.
Right. And we don't do this work for the money. We're both doing our life's purpose. We do it with the money. Helps us fill our cups so we can give more.
Exactly. So we can do more retreats and help more people around the world feel amazing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing how unique our specific needs are emotionally. Like, of course, we all need, I was just reading this cute article, you already know this, like about all the rainbow colors in our diet that we need.
Yes. The phyto spectrum.
The reds give what the green gives, what the whites give. Like, garlic, potatoes, and daikon give something. I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know, like we have that, and we also we all need rainbow of vegetables. We also all need like a full spectrum of support in our lives, right? Like intimacy, physical intimacy, touch, emotional friendship, like and mentorship. Like, I love being around children. I don't have my own children, but I love, like, last weekend I went up to the mountain saying on my friend and her 4-year-old, and just like, Auntie, just like, oh, it just fills my heart to be around the littles. You know, like, we need all these different layers. And so it's helpful to assess your life and go, okay, what's missing? And that's what people do when they work with you physically, and that's what people do when they work with me energetically as a spiritual life coach. Right. What's missing?
What's missing? Right.
Because when we fill the gaps, we get the nourishment that we need energetically, emotionally, physically, hopefully spiritually. Yeah. Right? Are you in connection with your spirit, with your angels, with God? Do you have that relationship, whatever religion you are? Are you in relationship with your emotions? And are you learning how to alchemize your energy with those emotional bodies? That's why I created Awaken Life School, because I found like these things that we learn as healers, like everyone, we want you all to know it. It's not just a marketing ploy to give you education. It's literally because it's our birthright to understand how to get our needs met.
Right, exactly. Yes, that's so true.
You know?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
very true. Yeah, I think there was one piece that you said there too. I wanted to go back a second and talk about the gap, because I actually don't think that there's a gap in who we are, or our healing, or our emotional body or physical body. I actually think we don't have the awareness that's been ignited within us to understand the piece that might be missing. So instead of it being like, I think that's like, for me, I feel like it's an old philosophy around that we're missing something. There's like a gap in us, but it's actually like that the awareness, that piece hasn't been unlocked for us to understand that that piece is available in our energy field or our physical field.
Well, okay.
But wait, let me finish. Please let me finish. Okay. So I think that's an old philosophy that has come about, that we're missing something in our life. And without that being able to fill that piece that's missing, we're never going to be whole. And I think that now I understand the piece of like, there might be a gap that's helping us to move to the next level. But I think that philosophy of always having to fill something, to fill a gap, that's not allowing us to be
on
in
a
the
spiritual
play.
level.
Yeah.
Right. On a spiritual level, there's nothing wrong with us. There is nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And there is no perfection, and there's no arriving. So like on a spiritual level, I agree with you. And when you taught me that the reason I'm not assimilating vitamin D is because it's a genetic piece, and so by supplementing vitamin D and getting the right omegas, it helps my brain and my gut function better. Like, that's amazing. That increases my vitality, that helps my metabolism. Same thing emotionally. It's like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with me to sit alone and not have a relationship with God, and really not get along with my parents, and like have only one friend, and like, not be sexually fulfilled. Like but the thing is that spiritually everything's divine, but that can really be a bypass.
Right.
So I think that the trick, and the more advanced people, and we attract more advanced people because our clients do work. They do a lot of the their work.
Right.
They want to be their potential.
We want them to do the work. You have to be committed to do the work.
Right.
Yes.
But it's to hold both, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with you. You're a divine radiant being. There's no arriving. Nobody's perfect. There's no perfect state of health. And it's also a process. And I'm growing and learning. And my soul is growing. And there's nothing wrong. So how about yes and?
Right. Yes and, totally. Yes. I think it's important for us to think about, like, as we're circling back to our beginning discussion today. So how are you, listeners and followers and people tuning in, how are you thinking about embodying your health for 2024? What does that look like for you? Like we talked about today, like do you have something missing? Maybe you feel like you do. Is that soul that you have within, like, yearning for something, right? And I think to me, that's a little different, like a gap. It's like that deep desire within. Like for me, it's like my deep desire to help people heal and learn and thrive and feel amazing. Like, to me, that's like a deepness. But maybe that you're listening or watching this, and you're like, that deepness, like, wow, I really want to feel amazing. Like that desire within you. What is that you're desiring? Maybe you want to learn that connection, to work with the people in the community, to be able to heal yourself spiritually, to connect in with a part of yourself that you may never have connected into and tapped into, right? And you're like learning at a new level. And I think for me, like, I've just like you, Narayani, I've been on a spiritual path for many years now. And every day I grow into someplace new within myself, and recognizing, I'm like, wow, I did that last year. Woohoo. Like, wow. And that, like, so I'm always like thinking outside the box, how I can move into my next level of vitality, whether that's physically, and I'm always stretching my limits. Like, what does it mean if I try to do this week? Like, I think I'll just try to, like you said, with the spectrum of plants, right? That rainbow. Right. What happens if I eat one of all the rainbow of the vegetables and fruits all week? What do I feel like? Right? Tapping into your feelings. And that's the emotional body that we've been talking about today. What are your feelings around health, and how can we help nurture that within you, and help that, like, little seed and plant just flourish?
Yeah. I love that. And it is like, there's something on a soul level. To me, what I hear you talking about is really the fulfillment of your soul. Mm-hmm. And, when we go really deeply into spiritual study, and we sit with the masters, if you're lucky, you get to do that. And we talk about these levels of desire, of soul desire to be able to make a huge difference in the world, or accomplish things we never accomplished, or get control of what we put in our mouths, which is huge growth point to be able to have control and the discipline to be able to do. And we look at who we are as spiritual beings in these physical bodies. The masters, they tell us that the spirit wants to experience physical form. It wants to experience life. It wants to experience the body. It wants to experience the pleasure in the body. So your desire as a soul to experience health and experience serving others on the spiritual level is a universal desire of the soul.
Right.
That's why retreats are really helpful, because we get to go really deep.
Exactly. Yes.
On that level.
Yeah. Let's talk about our retreat as we're wrapping up today. Give me like 5 things that someone is going to experience on the retreat from that emotional level that's going to just like transform them.
Okay, so I don't know exactly what's going to come up for you emotionally, to be honest. I have no freaking idea.
What are the tools? What are they going to experience?
Emotional healing. I'm going to give you an example of 5 things that have happened for people that I've worked with in the past 20 years as a facilitator, as a retreat facilitator. Okay, one thing is, the most important thing is that people feel connected and no longer alone. And very, very often people make friends for life that they stay in touch with and travel with and come on next year's retreat with, or become buddies with, join programs with, etc. Partners. So connection, really authentic connection, because we show up, we take off, you can wear your makeup, whatever, but it's like you're taking off the layers, we're in like our bathing suits in the sauna, like we're like getting up early, we're tired, we're sharing together. It's very intimate emotion. You're going to learn I teach people how to be their own emotional healer. So you're going to learn how to work through your emotions like this from a spiritual perspective. So you learn how to do spiritual healing for yourself. The next thing is you're gonna learn the difference between, and this is a big one for those on the self-awareness path and healing path. You're gonna learn the difference between if your intuition is telling you to make a different decision, or if it's telling you that you're right on track. Because there could be a lot of confusion between the gut and the brain. Right. You're going to learn, like, for example, it's like, oh, should I break up with this friend, or is this friend here to teach me something? I'm not sure. Should I leave my job, or am I at this job because I need to learn how to, like, express myself, and so I should stay? You're going to learn how to make those decisions quickly. And I teach you how to do that. You're going to learn the difference between, we're going to do a whole bunch of different kinds of breath work, heating breath work, cooling breath work, kundalini breath work. We're going to be doing some, like, breath work with the cold plunge, which I'm excited to play with y'all. So those are 4. And then emotionally, when to just like be happy at will, and when to like let yourself really feel like not okay.
Wonderful. Yeah, those are great. Wonderful. Yeah, that's
thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, it's great. We want you, the people tuning in and watching, to understand the feeling that we're talking about today, the feeling that you're going to be embracing on the retreat, which is so important. So we're still in our early bird launch until February the 22nd. The 21st is the last day. So make sure that you're signing up by then, because you want to save money and really get a great payment plan. So it's perfect. So DM below retreat, and we will send you all the details. If you have any questions about today, anything we talked about, make sure that you also comment below. And then also tune in next Tuesday. Actually, next week we're doing Tuesday because it's Valentine's Day Wednesday. So we're doing Tuesday, 7 o'clock next week. We'll see you live.
We'll see you for a Vitality Series. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Lulu. Bye.
Bye.